your brand globally. Make your venture a success. Unique Times, Premium Business Lifestyle Magazine.
അമൃത് ഹെയർ എലിക്സർ ഫോർ വിമൻ. ബയോടെക്നോളജി പ്രകാരം എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ചെയ്ത ഹെയർ എലിക്സർ. അമൃത് വേണി എന്നാൽ മുടിക്കുള്ള അമൃത്.
Mr. Rajesh Nair is worked with Ernst & You're still with Ernst & Young? Yes. And so he's got a global view of things, and therefore I'm sure he'll be able, Deepak, to be able to give you an understanding not only of the global issues, but where it pertains to Ernst & Young as well. What have you been doing as a company on social responsibility, corporate social? What have your experiences been? And what do you think the future is 10 years hence?
Sure. What we are seeing around the world is there is a lot of funds which are being available for corporate social responsibility sort of schemes. So before I take you through some Indian examples, if you look at the broad sources of funds, so as you would hear, the startup industry, and there are private equity funds, there are venture capital funds. So where is all this money coming from? So most of this money is coming from funds, and these funds are the pension funds of various organizations across the world, and a lot of them are coming from family funds and sovereign funds. So if you look at the pension funds, so for example, the New York Police Department pension fund, that's a large fund. You have the San Francisco Teachers Fund, which is again a very large fund, and likewise, a lot of these public bodies have funds. And the rate of interest in some of these countries is very low, so there is hardly any return which they get. So one thing which they have looked at is to look at emerging countries for finding great opportunities for investments. And one of the core themes of all these funds also is to find impact projects, or find projects which have social relevance. And that's where, increasingly, even the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, etc., they look at places like India where there is a lot of opportunity to create that kind of inclusion in the society. So those are the kind of funds which are available. And that's the sudden influx of a lot of these funds which are coming into India. Coming back to India, there are examples out here, Nandakumar sir, etc., who've been doing this much. I know the percentages are much, much different from the mandated 2%, etc., and he's been doing this for ages. And if you look at Thrissur, and if you look at the Valapad region, etc., there is, they have benefited from having an entrepreneur of his stature who's been here and, who's created wealth and smiles for people in that community. So there are lots of these very inspirational individuals across India who are creating that awareness for more and more people to come in. One area where companies like us get involved in is when people want to do large projects, they want project management skills as well. So that's where, when Ernst & Young or some of the other consulting companies get, we get work where we come in as we come in with our project management skills, help them identify some of those projects. If you're partnering with, let's say, an IMF or an Asia Development Bank, etc., they prefer that one of the larger consulting firms get involved, so that project management, money disbursement, etc., become a little more structured and organized, and there is a certain amount of audit in the usage of funds, etc. So that's one large area where companies like us get. The last part is what are the emerging areas for this, for CSR? See, climate change is a very large problem, and it's something very, very imminent. So if you look at the quality of air, if you look at availability of clean water, if you look at sanitation and all these aspects, a lot of them have been included into the CSR fold because there is need for corporates to actively come and participate in these regions, because that's where, as I mentioned earlier, inclusion, development happens through inclusion, so that we are not creating islands of excellence, but we want the country to when we say that we want to be a 5 trillion economy, we want everybody to reach that level. So for example, let's say what a Mr. Kumarvel does is, he is lifting families into a different strata in the society. And we want more of such entrepreneurs, and we want more of such projects. So those are the kind of areas. So, and climate change is one of those areas which is increasingly seeing a lot of CSR funds being deployed. At the moment, it's, while there is the government mandate, etc., but progressively we are seeing a lot of entrepreneurs volunteering and, getting into these areas. And we will see a lot more of that. I'm very positive that in the next 10 odd years in India, we will see a lot of projects of stature, and we will see the entire society being lifted, not just individuals or not just families making money, but the entire society itself will get uplifted by some of these schemes.
Thank you very much. Rajesh Nair, round of applause, please. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think you brought a global perspective from the US onwards, right down here to your own company. Wealth and smiles, I think, is what you said. Very true. That's what CSR does. So thank you so much for your inputs. I think we should also hear a women's point of view. And we have Srimati Sheila Kochose. She's an entrepreneur, V-Star. She established about 10 years ago. It's doing extremely well now. Give a round of applause to her, please.
Very good morning. Thank you for inviting me here. This is the most beautiful state. We have lots of water, lots of land, like fertile land, rivers, and intelligent people, highly educated people. We have everything in practice. Coming to social responsibility, they all said it is our duty to give something back to the society. But as Mr. Kumar said, creating job, that is the main thing that we can do to this place, to this state. So that's what we are all doing. As an entrepreneur, I started my industry about 27 years back. And what we do, we make innovations for men, women, and kids. And we have about 16 units in Kerala. Each unit is about 50 to 60 women. So, and bra is manufactured in these units. Charitable units, charitable organizations, they run these units. And it's in convents. So nuns are making our bra, not practically making, they are running the units. And each unit we have 60 to 70 women. And now about, I think about 600 women are engaged in making innovations. And it is, no doubt, it's our duty to give back to the society. And more and more corporates, they are coming up with plans to give back to the society, which is very encouraging to see these days. And we are very happy that we could start in a big way in this state, our corporate responsibility. And so that, like we projected it because so that so many can follow our business house. So I think that is what we can do to the society. Thank you so much for having me here. All the best.
Thank you very much, Sheila. I think you've given a woman's perspective of what corporate social responsibility is all about.
Feel the freshness. Feel the softness. DQ 78 TFM Grade 1 Soap.